Well, jeepers! You're listening to Smash or Pass.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another interview. I am JayBee and joining with me today is Dan Farrell.
Hi.
And the special guest who will be interviewing today is Maggie Roscher. Thank you so much for joining today.
Hello.
So it's really exciting to have you here today. Of course, I'm a big fan of what you're doing on social media, both the Twitch side of things and Instagram, and all of it is absolutely incredible. But I think the path that I really discovered you on was the cosplayers, especially, with all the fandom cosplayers. I think that's something that's very exciting. But going to the beginning of that, what kind of started off your cosplay journey, and do you recall what your first cosplay was?
Yeah, honestly, I don't want to count this one as my first, but I'm gonna count it anyways. So before I got into like multiple fandoms, I'm not gonna lie, most of my like following, I think I had like 80,000 followers on TikTok. I would post about the Vampire Diaries. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that show. I would post about it so much. And I think my first ever cosplay was because I had my long hair at the time, and like people would just comment and they'd be like, "You look like Elena from the Vampire Diaries." So I luckily in my closet just had clothes that like looked like hers in the show. So I honestly would say that she was like my first cosplay, and then it just started from there. Like once I started getting back more into Star Wars and Marvel, I think after my Elena, it was Padme. Padme was like my first official cosplay, I'd say, that I like bought on Amazon. And yeah, that's honestly like where it started. I was like, oh, like I can dress up as characters that I like. And yeah, that's just how it started.
That's a very ideal character to look like from that fandom because it's
Yeah.
almost like you can be Elena, you can be Catherine. It's like almost like a
Yep.
double-edged sword.
I have options. Yeah, exactly.
So who were some of the content creators that you watched before making content yourself who you think inspired you?
Oh my goodness, this is such a good question because then it means I get to brag about my friend. I'd say the cosplayer that I like idolized for the longest time and like I still look up to her today is Taya Miller. I love her so much, and like recently I've gotten like very close with her, and which is like, like if you were to tell me a year or two ago that like I am friends with Taya, like my brain would be like, what, are you kidding, like you're friends with yeah. So I love her so much. I've always like, I even love now, like she's like starting to like create her own cosplays, and she's been so nice to like offer help and like teach me, which I would love to make my own cosplay at one point. So yeah.
That is incredible. And I think I was first introduced to Taya when I think it was a video she did with Matthew Lillard for the Mystery Machine that they did last
I
year,
do
which was like
remember that.
crazy.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes.
See, it's always a modern answer as well, because every time that we've featured on another podcast and we've been asked that question, I always feel so old because everyone that I watched growing up have either retired a long time ago or they've been cancelled for some horrific things. So it's
Yeah, no,
kind of a refreshing avenue.
yeah.
So, I mentioned in the introduction with your Twitch streaming and everything, which are really cool. But in terms of the cosplaying, how those two can relate to each other, what came first? Did the cosplaying kind of lead into Twitch, or did Twitch lead into cosplaying, or were you just like, I want to go full-fledged into content creation?
So honestly, I think it definitely started with cosplaying first, because like, like I was creating videos, but like I was doing it for fun. Like I would do it like whenever I wanted, basically. But then once, I started to continue just like making cosplays and like posting videos, and then videos started blowing up, I was like, whoa, like this is actually, something that like this can turn into something. And so I will say this now, I am a huge, like I've always been a huge gamer. It's not like it started, like during my content creation. I think I played Overwatch since like when it came out, when I was in like 6th grade. When it came out, I think I played it from like the moment it came out. And so I think once I started getting bigger on TikTok, I was like, okay, maybe I can start, doing something with gaming because I love gaming. I was like, I would love to, find a platform that does that. And I started Twitch, I'd say probably like not like 5 months after like I officially like started TikTok. So it was a bit after, but I mean, I have so much fun with it. So
Oh, well, I think that's the main thing, as long as you're having fun. But so when you got into content creation, did you have like an end goal in mind, or if you did, is it that changed since the beginning?
yeah, honestly, I think from the beginning, I was like, I don't think I really had goals. I feel like I have goals more now, especially like um just with like all of my cosplays and like the content that I've been putting forth. I think before I was more doing it for fun. I mean, like obviously I think everyone's dream is like they want to, blow up and get big. I feel like that was probably my dream at the beginning. But like now I'm like starting to understand like, like the algorithm and like starting to like post more frequently and stuff. I'll be honest and say this, like recently I haven't been enjoying TikTok. If anything, I've been enjoying Instagram more. I have a lot more fun making posts and reels on Instagram. Unlike sometimes the TikTok algorithm can suck just a little bit. So it's like, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like a thing. I don't know if it's like me being full team YouTube, but there's like a bias there. But I think in terms of like pound for pound, there's like a metric that says like, you know, 1,000 TikTok followers is like there's like a thing where it equates to an even lesser amount of YouTube
Yeah.
subscribers. So I don't quite know how that works, but it's kind of a bit like that in
It's
a way.
definitely because like you can even see like even people who are big on TikTok, they're like following on Instagram is like way different. I mean, like I have like 280,000. I only have 21K on Instagram, which is still it's very good for Instagram, but like it just shows like how you I feel like I don't know, I feel like people follow more easily on TikTok and then just scroll and like don't continue to interact with your posts. So I feel like some of the other apps do a better job at keeping people, on your page and like they keep interacting with it, unlike TikTok.
It is definitely really fascinating. I'm almost wanting to go on like a load of different side tangents because I feel like I've found a therapist in many ways because it's so different to like interact with someone and say, oh yeah, the views and the analytics section. I'm like, yes, like it's just so relatable. But
Yes, yes.
I guess a question that I would ask is I almost want to rephrase this because I'm used to asking, a lot of people that watch this want to follow in the footsteps of whoever we're interviewing today. And now I'm in a situation where it's almost like, I want to follow in the footsteps of you. I mean, maybe not the cosplay part. I'd have to lose a bit
Mhm.
of weight. Maybe I'll do like Spider-Man of India one day, but that's
Oh, that'd be
probably
so
a while away. But I'm going to keep going. But in terms of content creation, I definitely do want to follow in those footsteps of achieving the great things that you've achieved. And no doubt a lot of people will that are watching this. So what would your advice be to people watching that want to get into content creation in any type of aspect?
I think the biggest thing about content creation is your drive. I mean, I will be honest and say like there have been points in making content where I'm like I'm tired. Like, like I'm like none of this. I feel like what I'm putting out isn't good. Like I mean, you can always feel down about yourself, but I think ultimately is for me is looking at the people who are affected by it. Like it might be a small amount, but there are people that care about my content and that's what I think ultimately keeps me going and making the content. Um but yeah, you definitely have to have determination to just keep on posting, keep on posting, keep on posting, and then, eventually, it will benefit you.
That's incredible.
Mhm.
Yeah, so would you say in general with your content creation journeys, there's been many struggles, and how exactly do you overcome them?
Honestly, I will say like, my friends and family, I have a huge, like support. And not only that, but like just like my community, like I treat them, they're my family, because you know they support me in so many things. So whenever, like, I think the biggest thing too is like whenever I am struggling, like I try my best to be honest, like on social media, and be like, hey guys, like I'm not doing well. Like even yesterday, I was streaming yesterday, and like on stream I was like, I'm gonna be honest guys, like I didn't have a good day today. And like just like the, you know, like the response to that was just so amazing. So I'm just very grateful. But yeah, I think some of the hardest like struggles I think I had especially was like when I moved away from home last year. That was hard because I moved to an unknown place with like no one that I knew, so it was very difficult to have that support, but luckily I had that support online. Um but yeah, no, it's definitely an amazing community, and I'm very, very grateful for them.
I think that word is such a powerful word for content creators, the idea of, community. Because I think a mistake that I made early on is I tried to come in and I wanted to get the approval of a certain community and to kind of pander towards a certain fandom's community and acquire to, almost be accepted into the ranks as such. But then kind of taking a step back, it's like, well, let's just make a community here from the ground up and fill it with people. Maybe there's a little bit of crossover, but I feel like that's something that you're talking about there, having that community within the chat to offer support, which I think is absolutely incredible. I mean, is there a moment where you can think of where like you really decided to suddenly realize that you are making a community for your own?
Honestly, I think if anything, I think I more realized that from Twitch, because I will say out of all of my social media platforms, I think the closest connections I've gotten with people have been from Twitch. Um, like I think it was one day, it was a Friday, and I was playing Fortnite, and I was playing with my chat, because like that's like my favorite thing to do, is just to, like invite my community to come and play with me, and to get to know me more and talk to me. Um so, and I think it was like the end of that day, and I was like, okay, guys, like, thank you guys so much for playing. And I think it was one of my viewers that just like sent in this paragraph and was like, like, I just want to say thank you so much for like what you do, and like inviting your community to come and play with you. Like, you have no idea like how much it makes people's day. And like that right there, just, sitting there and reading that, I was like, I realized, like these people, like this affects their daily lives, and like, and I'm making people's day better. And I was like, this is definitely, I'm creating this little community here, and yeah, I'm so grateful for them.
Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely incredible to get a message like that and really just go like for all, I mean, there's a lot of people in the outside space that look at content creators and it's like, well, they're not, brain surgeons, they're not actively saving lives, they're kind of just doing what they're doing. But in many ways, I feel like the content creators like you that are persevering with the content, doing what they love, and by proxy, what other people love, it really does just go a long way. And I think that it's a true testament to everything that you've done on the space. And going back to where I was first introduced to your content, I don't know if it was TikTok or Instagram, but it was one of the Daphne cosplays. And I just think that's absolutely amazing.
Yes.
And so what kind of led to that, Daphne TikTok?
Honestly, well, first of all, I have always been, I mean, now I'm mad. I should have worn my Scooby Doo sweatshirt. I'm like a huge Scooby Doo fan. Like, if you ask my parents, they will let you know that like they had to sit like hours on hours. Like, we even had like a DVD player in the car. I was taking Scooby Doo with me like everywhere we go. So I've always been a huge Scooby Doo fan. But like I didn't have a Daphne, like I didn't have a Daphne cosplay, and then one of my friends was like, I don't like this, like I don't like this dress on me. Do you want it? I was like, yeah. I was like, of course I want to cosplay Daphne. Like, yes. Um, so honestly, yeah, that's where it started. And I mean, I've always loved Scooby Doo, and I love Matthew Lillard. So that definitely is just my obsession from when I was a kid. So
Oh, well, I say, my next question was going to be, before this cosplay, how familiar were you with the Scooby franchise? But obviously you were very familiar. I mean, I don't know how familiar you are with this channel, but me and JayBee, and we're just adults who apparently still love Scooby Doo, so we really appreciate seeing how popular the characters still are. Like they're quite. I know around Halloween, a lot of people in groups dress up as the Scooby Gang.
Yeah, they definitely do. I've definitely seen like so many people. I feel like that's a very common Halloween costume. Like, you know, when they have like the typical Halloween costumes, I think
Yeah.
that group is very common.
It is just incredible to see, and it's interesting because you mentioned that the whole Daphne cosplay was thrust upon you in many ways, and I know that a lot of people like to use cosplay as a way to express themselves and what characters they relate to or that they enjoy. And so, if you kind of were to reset and you had a choice between Daphne and Velma, like, do you think you would have gone the Velma route, or was Daphne always the one that you were kind of more leaning towards?
You know, I like even today, I mean, like thinking on it now, because like, I mean, I haven't rewatched Scooby Doo like recently, but I mean, I was even thinking back, like when I was a kid, I don't know who my favorite character was. Like, I think Scooby was like 100%, but like between the girls, like, I don't know who I related to more. But I mean, I think now, I mean, I'll give this away now because my hair is short. I have ordered a Velma cosplay.
Mm.
So I am excited to do that now that my hair is short. I feel like it makes sense to do Velma now. But I honestly can't. I honestly don't think I could pick right now. I don't know who I liked more or who I reside with more. So
I mean, that's definitely understandable. It's exciting to hear like new Scooby Doo content coming is absolutely incredible. I mean, the character that I've really always liked is Daphne. I mean, the background probably makes it obvious. There's also a
I was
cutout
gonna
there.
say, I was
So
like, I
everywhere I
like.
move, there's like a new one that gets revealed. But I've always been a bit of a Daphne purist. But one thing that your cosplays and everything really opened me up to was the idea of a non-redheaded Daphne. And now there's been like little changes like that in the Scooby Gang. Like Robbie ML did a great Fred, and of course he wasn't a natural blonde. And so
Mhm.
you've really like you kind of altered my perception about that quite a bit. But in terms of like, I guess for the sake of accuracy, for being a purist, did you ever trial that red wig and did you just kind of realize maybe this doesn't work, or what was the whole kind of process behind that?
You know, I think I don't know if it is with certain characters. I got a red wig, and I guess the wig that I got, it just did not look good. Like I definitely think I if I like looked well and like found a good quality wig, I definitely 100% would do it. I so because it's actually funny that we're talking about redheads because one of my sub goals for my subathon today is I if they we get to 1,000 subs, I will dye my hair red. So like I just find it so funny that we're talking about the red wig, but yeah, no, I think I got a wig and it just did not look the way I wanted it to. So then I just didn't use it, but I definitely think that like eventually if I can find a good company. I mean like I feel like I kind of use trial and error with wigs cuz sometimes Amazon ones are good, and then sometimes they're bad. So it's kind of have to you kind of have to do trial and error when it comes to wigs. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've never dabbled in wigs, so I don't really have much experience with it. But I mean, definitely without the wig, it's still absolutely amazing. So
Thank you.
I mean, probably like, well, they're probably the best Daphne cosplay. But in terms of like going through, like the timeline of everything, there's so many different types of Daphnes out there now. Like there's different iterations all the time, and obviously, again referring to the background, you've got the Sarah Michelle Gellar variant as well. I mean,
I
were you
want to do
tempted?
that one so
Oh.
bad. I want to do that one.
Because it's definitely so different, but it's also to a point where I kind of feel like a lot of people would understand it as well. So I guess I don't know, maybe that's an option for Halloween because, like Dan said, all the Scooby cosplay is probably going to be really popular around
Yes.
October time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose on the subject of the live action films, we know that recently you met Matthew Lillard. What was that like? Did he sign anything for you, and how'd it go?
Oh, yes, he did. Okay, I literally have them back here, so hold on. So I will say one thing about Matthew Lillard is that he has not only been a part of my childhood, but like he was also a part of my like teenage years. Like it's crazy. So well, this is my like group photo with the cast
Oh, wow.
of Scream. But yeah, he's very tall and has really big hands. Like let's see if I can find this photo of him with me, and his hand like literally covered my entire shoulder. I was like, oh my goodness, like this dude's a tall big man. But like he has been a part of my childhood, and because of Scooby Doo, but then not only Scooby Doo but Scream, because like that was my teenage years. Like I remember I went to a Halloween party in high school, and my friends were like, let's watch a scary movie, and they were like, let's watch Scream, and then I got hooked immediately. So he signed this right here, and he said "Live her alone," which is one of my favorite lines from his character in Scream. But let me see if I can find this picture of him. But he was so nice, and it was funny, I actually met him with my dad, and my dad came up to him and was like, I'm just letting you know, like, I like blame you for like the multiple hours I had to watch Scooby Doo. And he was like, you didn't deserve that, man. Like, I'm so sorry. And he was like, and when I like walked off after the picture, he was like, you make sure you tell your dad you love him. And I was like, okay. Like, but this is, hopefully if it'll focus. I don't know if it's focused. Let me turn down the brightness a little bit, but you guys can see him. He's just so tall. Like, and like look at his hand. Like my shoulder is completely covered. Like he's so nice.
Yeah, like I remember because I met Matthew Lillard. I don't know if it was last October or 2 Octobers ago. My whole time perception is crazy, and I don't know if I'm tall or short. I don't even like to contemplate it. I'm 5'10", and so I've never been the shortest in a room. But then meeting Matthew Lillard, he was like a whole head above me, and
Yeah.
it's like, what's going on? But then I guess that's what made him, the perfect Shaggy, and just in general, he's just such a good actor and a nice person as well. One of my favorite memories was there were so many delays in the lineup for people to get stuff signed for him, and so when he literally was taking a break, he went along the whole line of people waiting and like started fist bumping them, and
Yep.
he like skipped his lunch so we could see everyone there. Just a really, really great guy.
Yeah, no, I think he's one of the most genuine actors I have ever met. And I don't know why I completely forgot this. Like, not only has he been in like my Scooby Doo childhood, he's also now in my FNAF childhood, which is so exciting. I'm so excited for him to play that role, and I hope that the movie does well for him, because I mean, he's an amazing actor, so I think it'll do well. But yeah, it was actually funny. The way I met him was me and my dad got to the con super duper early, and then as soon as they like let us go, like me and him, because they were like not allowing people to run, but I'm a very fast walker, so I was basically sprinting to the line, and I think my dad got like, I think we were like 20th in line, and because we were 20th in line for Matthew, I got in Skeet Ulrich's line, and then he saved my spot, and then I met Skeet, and then I came back over, and then I was able to meet Matt. So it was super fun. But yeah.
That's incredible. I always love it because I think quite a lot they're like paired up for like cons together. So it's nice that they've still kind of maintained that. And you've picked up on something that I was just going to mention. From Matthew Lillard, great part of the past. He's also potentially, well, he definitely is a great part of the future as well with FNAF, and just the whole trailer dropping. It brings me back because I was such a FNAF kid growing up, and I completely forgot about it until the last couple of years, just obsessing over watching all the game theory, like things about the lore and stuff. And so now to learn that Matthew Lillard's going to be playing the purple man, what's your kind of response to that casting, and like how hyped are you? What are your hopes for that movie?
I am so excited. Like, I'm also like, I'm excited, but like I'm like scared, because like some people who don't realize FNAF, like they don't realize like the scary man that he's playing. Like because I was like, at the same time, I know Matthew Lillard can do it, but I'm like, he's such a sweet guy. Like, I don't want to see him like as this, this scary man. So I mean, but I definitely think he's gonna do an amazing job. And for me with FNAF, I didn't play the games at first when I was younger. I started watching Markiplier, and then then that's how I started liking FNAF, and then I started playing the games for myself. I even like streamed Security Breach, which I'm excited for their DLC that's coming out in July, which I'm definitely going to be playing that on stream too. But yeah, no, I'm excited to see Matthew Lillard, but I'm also like nervous because I'm like, I'm gonna be scared of him. Like, I don't want to be like, he's such a nice guy. Like, what am I gonna do? So
Yeah, he's definitely got incredible range, and it's just a testament to, and I hope it does well, because I was thinking, like, when I went to meet him, I was in a line of people with fake knives, blood-soaked, scream masks, and I was just there with my fiance with a little shaggy Funko. Like, I don't think we belong here. What's going on? So it's gonna be nice to see him going back to those roots of it.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I know I've attended one convention, I think, in my lifetime, but what have been some of your favorite moments from attending conventions over the years?
Honestly, definitely. Okay, I think one of my favorite experiences. I've met multiple celebrities so far. I think the most I met was this past MegaCon. But I would say like two instances that I remember the most was one from this year, which it was meeting Hayden Christensen, and he called me beautiful, and I wanted to pass out. I was like, after he said that, I was like, I'm gonna die. Like, I can pass away now, and I'm happy. Such a nice guy. Like, just keeping eye contact too. Like, he was just so sweet and nice, and that I definitely remembered. And then one thing, like, I don't know if you guys know about photo ops, but they rush you very
Yeah.
quickly for autographs. That's the one thing I like about autographs more, is because you kind of get more time with them. You get to talk to them, you get to kind of share what you want to say to them. But with photo ops, it's like, okay, go in, done, you're out, like, you're done. But I think one of my best experiences, I was cosplayed as Padme, and I was meeting Ashley Eckstein, Matt Lanter, and James Arnold Taylor. And I walk in, and like, they're like, hurry up, like, get like, what your pose is, whatever. And Ashley Eckstein went in front of like my whole group that was with me and singled me out, and like backs up, like, basically like stopping the photo from happening. And she was like, you look so beautiful. And I was like, thank you so much. Like, I just like, I just appreciated that, like, she took the time to like actually, like, say something to me and like point me out. And then, we like took the picture, and then we had to leave, unfortunately. But I mean, it was just so amazing that she was, able to single me out and say that to me. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna cry. Like, I love you so much.
Oh, that is absolutely amazing. There's definitely just so great to hear about those memories, and as well, like, there's just, I mean, there's a lot to think about in terms of the future, to look forward to it and everything sort of coming up. So, are there any like Comic Cons or events that you're going to be doing in the future or going to that you're particularly excited about? And if so, are there anyone like, is there anyone on your hit list, so to say, of people that you want to meet next and everything like that?
Yes, and I'm so glad you like mentioned it, because I'm waiting for tickets to drop, because I'm buying them so quick. I've never been to New York Comic Con, but I wanted to go last year, but unfortunately, like, I couldn't because I was just busy. And but I want to go to New York Comic Con this year. Ewan McGregor got announced, and I was like, as soon as those tickets come out, I said, I'm buying my ticket to meet Ewan McGregor. Like, that, he is, I would say, like, not even just like one of my favorite Star Wars actors. I think just like one of my favorite actors in general. He's in my favorite movie, Moulin Rouge, which he does an amazing job, and he literally can sing and act and do everything. So I'm very excited to meet him. And then I also heard that the English voice actor for Gojo in Jujutsu Kaisen is also going. So I was like, okay, I now have 2 reasons to go to New York Comic Con. I need to go. So I'm very excited.
I mean, your schedule truly, truly does amaze me how you manage to stay on top of things. Because let me tell you, I don't want to demean what we're doing here, but it's, you know, a weekly podcast. There's an Instagram post. There's like 3 videos a day, but they're quite, you know, they're shorts. There's one unique video, and I'm like struggling. I'm like chugging energy drinks here and there. I'm kind of almost going a bit bonkers sometimes. But with you, like you've you know, you've got the Twitch. You've got the Instagram, the music as well, which is incredible. Like, I think the only thing you're not doing in the online space, at least so far, is like crossover boxing. I think you cover every single other base. And so, do you have any other plans for the rest of 2023, like goals that you want to achieve? And if so, what are they?
Yeah, definitely. So, I'd say like probably some of my main goals. I want to do YouTube, and I have genuinely I have tried, and like I want to get back into it because I personally, like, I enjoy watching like YouTube all the time more than, you know, like scrolling on TikTok than anything. Um so I definitely want to just get into it. It's just like I need to figure out a set schedule on how to implement that into my content. But and then I think one of my other goals, I'd say, was my biggest goal is I want to get I want to work on making my own FNAF cosplay. I'm not sure who I want to do yet, but I want to do FNAF cosplay, and then I my goal is to try to get invited to the FNAF premiere for October, and I will be set with my year. That is my goal.
That is such a cool goal, and I think there's a few options for FNAF now. Because I mean, I guess animatronics. I mean, if you can make an animatronic or like a paper mache thing, that's
Mhm.
possible. But then what, you've got Vanny now. Like, there's just so many different options on that front.
Yep, absolutely. I definitely think it would be such a cool concept to be able to like make my own Vanny mask, like, to put on. I feel like it would look terrifying, but you know, it's for the cosplay, so.
Yeah, and hopefully that gets you to achieve your goals. And I guess like to begin the process of wrapping things up a bit now, you know, what projects do you have in terms of your own personal, like what's in the immediate future for you content wise or even life wise?
Well, I definitely say immediate. Thursday, I am get a moving company is coming and packing all my stuff up. Unfortunately, what sucks is because they're packing all my stuff up, they're driving it, and then they're taking it to Cali and then unpacking it. Which is great, but that takes apparently it takes them 2 to 3 weeks to do that. So I'm actually going to be moving back home for, well, 3 weeks until like they are ready to bring my stuff to Cali. So yeah, I won't have my PC for like 3 weeks. I won't be able to stream. I'm gonna bring some cosplays so I can, like, you know, work on some while I'm at home. But um yeah, so that's probably my immediate thing is just moving across the country. So
That might be a good time to start YouTube stuff because I mean I know what I think you did a Q&A where you mentioned doing a podcast, like was it the monthly magazine? I mean, I don't know if you have a laptop or if you have anything, but you can just do it on there. I mean,
Mhm.
you just have this stupid thing, I think gets in the way, but it's fine. It does its job. So I guess for like the sake of people watching this, where are the best places to keep up with you on social media, and what are the kind of social links that you're working with at the moment?
I'd say best place is Instagram. I think I pretty frequently like update that one the most. TikTok, it's been a little bit slow, but I'm getting back into it. But I'd say definitely say Instagram, and then once I move, Twitch will be more frequent, which I'm very, very excited about. But yeah, those are definitely the 2 main ones.
That is absolutely incredible. And that does wrap up all the questions that we had for you today. Just thank you so much again for joining. And obviously, with your schedule, like, we really do appreciate you finding the time to come on here today.
Absolutely. It was so much fun. Thank you for having me.
And thank you again for joining. And I guess for the sake of the audience and everyone watching, Dan, where can people find you online?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter and Instagram, both at danfaz94. I don't have nearly as many followers as Maggie does, but I'm getting there. I've got about 4,000, so I'm getting there very slowly.
Yes.
I've got about 2, so everyone's doing better than me today. But yeah, I'll leave them linked in the description down below as well, along with our link tree. So if you do want to see more of these episodes, then please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.